2, 1. Welcome to the Redacted podcast, where we love anime bitches as much as the next guy. I'm your host, Matt Cannon, as always joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Hellen Keller with all 7 senses. How are we today, Hellen?
What's up? We're doing pretty solid. The sixth sense, the third eye is really open today. We're feeling it.
That's
It's good. We're on that shit. So
on that third eye shit.
On that third eye, middle of the forehead, looking freaky deek ass shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah. All right. So what are we thinking? What are we thinking today?
So
what's the first point of discussion?
Well, I was having this debate with myself today, because that's what I spend my school hours doing. I want to talk about a video game, and I posted this in the Discord as well, so you know of it. I want to talk about which Halo had the best campaign. Okay, because this is a hot button topic.
Again, among how many people?
Like 5.
All 5 people who play Halo.
5 people who play Halo.
Right. Because Halo's, a very, very indie franchise. Some people may not have heard of it before.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Halo stars Alex Mason from Call of Duty Black Ops, and basically you're on the ship Andromeda as you travel the multiple galaxies in search for the Lost Ark.
Mm-hmm. Basically killing religious extremists as you go. So a normal Tuesday afternoon.
A normal Tuesday afternoon, I would concur.
Exactly.
But
anyway, so best Halo campaign, I think would have to go to Reach.
You think so? Really?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that?
I think the way it was staged made it better than the other Halo campaigns. Specifically just because I think over time you ended up building an attachment to each of the characters. And as you got deeper and deeper into the game, like losing each one of them was more impactful every single time after. Like, I would say probably, everyone playing Halo Reach for the first time, like Noble Six's death was probably the most impactful death in the game. However, I think
argue to say it's the most impactful death, like within the in the sense of story wise. I think Noble Six's death was incredibly quintessential for the story.
I think it was. I think it definitely drove home the point of what Reach was, not necessarily just in the game sense, but in the whole in the Halo universe.
Yeah.
Inside that canon, I think that panned out shot of a glassed Reach with the shattered helmet of Noble Six laying below the mountains, that shot right there carried so much weight with barely any words. And I think for that reason, it's one. It has to be one of the campaigns, but also I think it's just because you get an attachment to the characters more than you do in the mainline games. Of course, you're attached to Master Chief and Cortana. Master Chief Cortana, and that one oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name, and I should not be, but the one Marine Sergeant.
Oh, Sergeant Johnson.
Remember his name. Yes, Sergeant Johnson. I would say those are the only, maybe, it's up for debate, but 3 characters that you really get, feel a connection with in the mainline Halo games.
I'd say
and
the
even then
Arbiter's
it's pretty hard
too.
because that is also very true.
Arguably.
That is true. Arbiter, especially in Halo 2, that was definitely one of the high points of Halo 2 was playing as the
Arbiter. Oh my god, those are probably some of my favorite missions. That and
I would have to agree.
It's always been a dream of mine to play, as Keith David. So, um, needless to say, those missions were always one of my favorites.
I mean, I think it's just interesting seeing things from a entirely different perspective in Halo 2.
Yeah.
I think Halo 2's campaign would be definitely my second. It would definitely be my second.
See, the one thing I didn't like about the Arbiter levels in Halo 2 was that it was just Keith David's life. Like, I don't know how Keith David's life, those levels just, like, play into the overall Halo story, but, I mean, I guess it's kind of cool seeing the world through Keith David's eyes. I guess that's kind of pretty neato.
I mean, they really don't contribute too much overall to like the larger Halo canon as much as obviously Halo Combat Evolved and especially later Halos like Halo 4
Mm-hmm.
contributed to the overall canon. But I think it's still it's a fresh take, especially for the second game in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was huge. I think Halo 2, my opinion, had some of the best mechanics, as well as some of the best weapons. Rip the SMG, you will forever be remembered.
Yeah, because the SMG wasn't
Dual
in was
wielding.
in Halo 2 and like Halo 3, and that's it, right?
That's it.
I
Yeah.
think it was in Halo 5,
Same.
kind of.
It was, but it was garbage.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Playing the campaign, you never pick up an SMG
Mm-mm.
because they like it's it's like the Combat Evolved Magnum versus the like any other Magnum in the Halo games.
Yeah.
Like
Which is weird when you think about like ODST. Like one of the selling points for ODST was that the ODST Magnum was supposed to be like the Halo 1 Magnum, and it like wasn't like at all.
no, it wasn't at all. They definitely dropped the ball on that.
Mm-hmm.
I was very disappointed playing through Halo 3 ODST the first time and discovering that the Magnum was still a shell of its former self in Combat Evolved, which was actually the game that got me into the Halo series. Combat Evolved remastered on the Xbox 360.
Yes.
Amazing game.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely amazing. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I got lost or died because my little 12-year-old brain could not comprehend how to play a more in-depth game such as Halo versus like a Call of Duty campaign.
Yeah, Call of Duty campaigns are very linear, so
I think that's one thing that makes I think at least Halo was ahead of its time for, I will say.
oh, absolutely.
Open combat arenas. I think they were just spot on that. Even in the first one, where they were massive.
Oh, they were huge, especially like the levels on the Halo ring. Like, holy crap!
Oh my gosh, you could get lost. You could get lost so easily inside of them because there was. I mean, if you decided to play without checkpoints on, you could. I think just because of the sheer size of the maps, and also they're just. If I remember correctly, there weren't a whole lot of loading screens at all.
No,
there was
you
any division.
You'll see that with a lot of the Halo games. Like the levels themselves just kind of flowed.
I think that's definitely one of the strong suits of the campaigns compared to other FPS games. Is the kind of like open area, kind of choose your path ish, but not really.
Like there's a set like linear path, but like you can get there any way you want.
There's always. I think you especially see this in the earlier Halos, Halo 1 and 2. There is a definite right way to go, and there is a harder way. I think there's it definitely falls into that category of there is a certain almost a meta pathway to make your way through the levels. And that's definitely not a bad thing, but also considering that they were such early adopters of kind of like the open combat arena style of level. I mean, you have to give old games, especially like Combat Evolved, passes on certain things just because of when they were developed and what our I guess perception of
Sure,
a
but
good
like,
campaign level is now.
Here's the thing, though. Like, when even replaying Combat Evolved and, like, Halo 2, like, the only really bad thing, even in today's standards, would be just their graphics, I guess. But even then, their art style still holds up. Like, everything else, mechanic-wise, and gunplay-wise, and, sandbox-wise, is still phenomenal, damn near 20 years later.
I would wholeheartedly agree with that. Playing Combat Evolved again on the Xbox One with the Master Chief Collection. I think the thing that got me the most is there was a feature that allowed you to switch between the OG graphics
and the
updated
new
graphics.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I personally loved seeing all the just switching back and forth. And I, in a way, it is just like childish nostalgia, but
absolutely.
Feeling like your little 12, 14-year-old self playing through those levels again. Like that was something special. I like that.
And it's really interesting when you do that too, because you can see the stark difference between the two, and you can tell that 343 for the remasters did put a lot of work into them, right? They didn't. I mean, sure, it's just a fresh coat of paint, but at the same time, it looks even the remasters look really good.
That is true. When did Master Chief Collection came out? Xbox One launch, right? So that would be 20.
Yeah, it came out around the same time as Halo 5, so 2015, I think.
Oh yeah, 2015, 2016, right in there. So even for a now going on 20-year-old game that was remastered with literally just updated textures and a good art style 5 years ago, that is. For it to hold up, I think it's a true testament to how solid of a game it actually is. Because you go back and you play, I would say, games like Battlefield 2 or COD World at War to a lesser extent, but probably Battlefield 2 would be the best example, and it definitely shows its age.
Oh yeah,
more than Halo does.
It's still good, but it doesn't hold up as well to its newer counterparts. And I'd argue to say that you can see that in COD too. I mean, you can see the progression. Obviously. You can't just expect older games to have the same mechanic. You can't expect COD for Modern Warfare to have the mounting ability from Modern Warfare 2019, right? But
also the one thing that I see beyond just gameplay wise, if we're looking specifically at COD, their incessant change of fundamental systems. Pick 10 versus gunsmith.
Okay.
Advanced movement versus boots on the ground, stuff like that. I think that has more defined COD than Halo, which is stuck to the same formula for damn near 20 years.
See, the thing that makes COD is change and then replication. Treyarch did the Pick 10 system in Black Ops 2, okay? And then they did Pick 10 for every Call of Duty until Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare, which they did Gunsmith. And now Treyarch is on the Gunsmith train.
And I imagine Sledgehammer will be too when they do their game. Which, did you hear about this? Okay. I want to bring this up. The Black Ops Cold War, right? Good game. I liked it a lot.
Yes.
Wasn't supposed to come out this year.
Yep. I actually watched a video about that today. Yeah. So Black Ops Cold War was supposed to be developed by Sledgehammer, right?
No. So Black Ops Cold War was Treyarch's game, but it was Sledgehammer's turn for a game. So Sledgehammer's game was obviously not Black Ops Cold War. It was supposed to be a completely separate game. Black Ops Cold War was supposed to come out next year, which
because 3 developers, 3-year cycle.
3-year cycle.
I think it does as well. It is just with the amount of content, I don't think purchasing Black Ops Cold War is Like if you're a COD fan, I mean, definitely go for it. But the one thing that I think is that there's no reason to not buy Modern Warfare for $40 instead of Black Ops Cold War for 60, because I think Modern Warfare still has a very active player base. Plus, it has Warzone, and it has also a wealth of content along with it, where Cold War just really doesn't.
Yeah, and that's kind of a double-edged sword because, like, personally, even though I have my gripes with Black Ops Cold War, I love it. Like, I'm having so much fun with it, but the problems that it has are very apparent, right? Like they
Okay, let's talk about this then. If we're talking about problems, skill-based matchmaking. Well, it's not
skill-based
skill-based matchmaking.
matchmaking. Oh my god,
It's not actually.
it's
It's
not.
not.
It's
That's the
not.
thing. It's not SBMM. It is
It is, but it isn't.
performance. It's performance-based matchmaking.
Mm-hmm.
So how you do in the previous, that's why you can't stay in lobbies in Cold War.
Yeah.
Because your performance on the previous round dictates the lobby you'll get put in the next round. So if you go like 24-7, you're going to get put in another lobby with people who went 20-5, 24-7, stuff like that in their last game.
And if you get
And then
absolutely shit on in the last game,
if you go, yeah, and then
shitters.
if you go, and then you're going to excel, and the next match you're going to get shit on, and then you're going to excel and get shit on, and it's this constant cycle of just. I mean, I don't even know what they were thinking. Like, and the thing is, it was something that they figured out back in Halo Combat Evolved.
With a ranked playlist.
A ranked mode, a ranked playlist. It is not that hard. I mean, almost every large multiplayer first-person shooter besides Call of Duty has a ranked playlist.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rainbow Six has a ranked playlist. I think Battlefield has a ranked playlist.
bad. All the thing is though is also like even smaller like source games. CS:GO has a ranked playlist. My God. Free Call of Duty clones that you can find on Steam have ranked playlists. Like if you think of a game like Warface, which is free on Steam.
Good game, by the way.
Iron Sight as well, which is basically like spiritual successor to BO2, has a ranked playlist. Even the people, like basically, I don't think you can find a competitive or an FPS game with competitive elements that doesn't have a ranked playlist besides Call of Duty.
Yeah, I don't know why Call of Duty is so like slow to the idea here. Just out of curiosity though, kind of a side note, do you watch The Act Man?
No, I definitely didn't watch his video
on Black
today
Ops Cold War.
while I was having breakfast on Black Ops Cold War.
Okay.
Also, Mans is doing God's work. His uploads are amazing, by the way.
I love The Act Man.
If you like Call of Duty content, go check him out.
And he's like
seriously,
like he's genuinely funny too. Like he's actually like genuinely entertaining.
I wouldn't say I would. There's definitely some funny moments, but I think it's more genuine critique. But it's not so much as just, oh, I'm going to absolutely take the dump on this game for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's a very well balance of very, very much so, and I like that about his content. I actually like it a lot. I found myself actually on another side note watching a lot of YouTubers like the Act Man in more of video essay style, video game review style. And I find myself watching reviews about games that I have never played or would never have played and being just absolutely engrossed in a game that I've never played. And I find that I think the video essay is probably the only format that has the ability to do that.
Oh yeah.
And I've just been enjoying.
I've thought about it. I kind of want to do video essays, but I don't know.
It's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time. I think you'd like, because you watch Race Civic, don't you?
I do watch Racevic.
I do like Racevic.
His years later videos are absolutely astounding. The
Oh,
amount of effort
yeah.
and research that man puts in is to go through the whole development cycle of the game, as well as an in-depth commentary and critique into the game and its mechanics. I think 10 out of 10.
Oh
10
yeah.
out of 10.
He's good. I think he would like G-Man Lives.
Mm.
He's this Australian. He
All
does
right.
he does a lot of like video game reviews, but they're very like video essay-esque, and he's like genuinely like he's got this kind of dry humor about him.
Oh yes, I do. In fact, the third eye is fully open for dry humor.
Yeah.
It is definitely. I love dry humor.
Yeah.
Well, it's the only humor that I can comprehend. You know, I mean, it's just too overwhelming to the senses. You know, regular humor. It's too tasteful.
So what's the seventh sense if the sixth sense is the third eye?
We don't talk about it.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, no. That's a little secret. It's called autism.
Ah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
the seventh sense is just the amount of absolute shit, like verbal diarrhea that can come out of my mouth when I get in a certain mood. And
That's
that is in fact the seventh sense. It senses like the synapse is firing, and then it just clicks on like retard mode.
right on. Right on. So, got a question for you.
All right, shoot.
What are you doing December 18th?
December 18th.
Yeah,
Let me
next
check my
Friday.
calendar actually. Well, nothing.
Cool.
So,
You want to know what I'll be doing?
what?
I'll be attending a virtual concert.
Okay.
Let's talk about this for a second.
And
Okay.
all right.
So, a virtual concert is just how it sounds. A concert that is essentially over a Zoom call, right? We're in the middle of the COVID pandemic, obviously. Not a lot of concerts are happening anymore, obviously. Can't have big groups because then we get the Rona. So, musicians have resorted to doing it online. A big example of this would be the Travis Scott concert that he did in Fortnite.
Oh, I remember that.
Lil
Yeah.
Nas X did one in Roblox, I think.
Excuse me?
Either-
What?
he-
How did I not hear about
He either
this?
did it in Fortnite or Roblox, and I can't remember what. Someone did a concert in Roblox. And it was a big name too. I don't know if it's Lil Nas X, but they did. Who did I see today on the news that's also doing one, but on TikTok?
Oh no.
Yeah, there is a
Just
TikTok.
wanted an app.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, your boy.
So how will you be attending this concert? Is it just going to be you sitting in front of the computer on?
No, so I'm making it a whole shindig. I'm gonna invite people. I'm gonna make food. It's gonna be a whole get together. Okay. And then I will
All
take
right.
my laptop and HDMI that bitch to my TV and watch it on the big screen while I sit on my couch.
So it is a concert from the comfort of your own.
It's a concert without a mosh pit, which pisses me off. Unless I want to start punching my family and my friends, which I don't want to do.
It'll make it rock. Pack your house full of people.
Just pack my
Like-
house full of people.
Your suburban house needs to have like 90 people in it. Like you can't even move up and down the. Like you want to get to the sink, not happening, chief.
Which is
like,
funny you mentioned
Then
that.
you can get the authentic mosh pit
The
feel.
authentic mosh pit feel. I have a story about mosh pits in a second in regards to the concerts, and as a matter of fact, it involves the band that's doing this virtual concert. Anyway, so it's funny you mentioned packing my house because it is for the band, my favorite band of all time, Hollywood Undead. Okay, easily my favorite band of all time. I have their symbol tattooed on my arm. They are doing what is called the Undead House Party. So it's funny you mentioned that. I spent $44 on this. It comes with a physical ticket and a t-shirt.
Oh, okay. So there's actually like something physical besides like a zoom in.
Yeah, no, they send me a physical
That's
ticket.
good.
It's a really cool looking ticket. Like, it actually looks legit. And basically,
Nice.
I wanted it so I can show my kids in the future, like, listen here, you little bastards. This is how I did it during the COVID time. You can shut up and do your homework type thing, right? And the t-shirt was really cool too. But, yeah, so this will be the third time I'm seeing Hollywood Undead, and it'll be from my house.
All right. So how did that compare to the mosh pit experience? How do you think? Tell us the mosh pit story.
So let me tell you this mosh pit story.
Indulge me.
Okay, so it was the first time I saw Hollywood Undead live. Okay, I'm having the time of my life. And if you don't know much about Hollywood Undead, they have a gimmick, and that gimmick is wearing masks. They wear masks on stage. So thusly, I had my own mask. I thought it was cool. I made it myself, and it looked kind of cool. So I'm wearing my mask in a darkly lit room in the middle of a mosh pit. And if you didn't think that was bad enough, it gets worse. So, the band has 5 members, 4 of which play instruments, 1 just kind of vibes. The vibing member, his name is Funny Man. That's his stage name, is the Funny Man. Jumps off stage into the mosh pit. Okay? It gets worse. So we're moshing. I see him. And for a second, we made eye contact. What proceeds to happen will be the most painful but enjoyable experience of my life. Because Funny Man from Hollywood Undead locks eyes with me in this mosh pit and just absolutely decks me in the face.
Oh my goodness.
Charged
so you
up
got
everything.
you got your shit rocked by a member of your favorite band.
Yes.
In a mosh pit.
In a mosh pit. Cracked my mask.
And why do you think that?
Why do I think that happened?
Yes, why do you think the events that transpired?
Have you ever been in a mosh pit, Coulter? Oh.
No, because I sit in front of my computer.
Yeah, so
no, I have not indulged in a mosh pit experience, but I have seen the terror that is incurred within mosh pits.
So mosh pits. My parents are yelling in the background. I'm sorry. Mosh pits.
No, you're not, Matt.
No. Anyway, mosh pits are for individuals that woke up the morning before the concert and chose violence. Okay? It's a circle of a bunch of sweaty white dudes, and just going around.
Is it basically the equivalent of like putting a 5-hour energy into like a heroin syringe and injecting that, I don't know, into your balls?
Think of it like Ring Around the
deciding
Rosie.
To run around the streets of LA.
Yeah, think of it as Ring Around the Rosie with a bunch of coke addicts.
Oh, solid. So that's a vivid picture. That's a very vivid
the best
picture.
way to describe it.
All right. I like it. Ring around the Rosie with a bunch of coke addicts.
Yeah, man.
Solid.
It's the only way to
I mean, fair enough.
But
fair enough.
So
mosh
pit story.
Was that the first time or the second time you saw Hollywood Undead?
So that would be the first time.
So was there a mosh pit the second time?
There was, and I was involved as well. But he didn't jump off. The dude didn't jump off stage. This time around, it was during the same song too. The song was called Riot. Ironically enough.
Ironic.
Yeah, good song. But mosh pit starts, I'm in there. Problem is I can't really get too wild because I was with my ex at the time, who had never been to a rock concert up to this point.
So you had to make her think that you were like still somewhat sane.
It was more of I had to make sure she didn't get herself hurt. Like, I got out of the mosh pit when I saw that she was getting close to it, and I'm like, you're gonna get absorbed. Let's not have this. No, I have to protect you. And thusly I did. And then we proceeded to get kicked out of the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why would that be?
My uncle.
Indulge. All right, fair enough. Enough said.
His name is Basil.
All right. Your uncle is named after a spice.
Yep, government name.
Government name.
Yep, that's his government
So
name.
he's in witness protection.
No, government name, like legal name.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, that's a little bit interesting.
Yeah, his legal name is
So
Basil.
off the topic of mosh pits and people getting decked. Well, you getting decked.
Me getting decked mainly.
What have you been playing recently? What have you been playing?
So, well, I mean, you and I played Siege last night.
Oh, that is true. Let's talk about that actually.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How has the transition been from console Siege to PC Siege?
Oh my god, it's so good.
Because
So good.
I'm speaking from what 1,200 odd hours of experience on PC Siege,
Something
and
like that.
Matt here has like
2 as of
5. 2, okay. So what's the difference? What's the biggest difference?
Well, first we got the FOV sliders. That's kind of a big deal. Why the hell is my phone? I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, so, like, FOV slider was pretty good. Like, changing it to 90 and seeing the world around me change was bizarre. And I was like, I don't know why I hadn't done this sooner.
Was it like opening your third eye, Matt?
It was opening my 4th eye.
Ah, so even more advanced. All right.
Yes.
So how is the experience playing in casual against such people? Is it about the same? Are they about as bad?
Yeah, no, they're about as bad. I feel like you're leading into the story of Get Good Scrub and his squad.
A certain 3-game quick match saga. So we met this man and his 2 other guys that he was partied. We were at a party, and this guy named Get Good Scrub, who, by the way, had a 0.8 win-loss ratio and a 0.9 KD in ranked.
Something
So,
like that.
you know, the man's solid. He's not bad. We are playing with him the first game on Villa, and he's popping off. He's doing great, except for wait, no, we were against him on Villa.
On Villa, yeah, but the first round we had played.
We were
with
playing
him.
against him on Villa. I'm pretty sure we got. We both did quite terrible, and we're like, okay, this guy's pretty good. And then the next game on Canal, him and his 3-stack was with us. We were on the same team. And everything started to go downhill once I picked Rook. And apparently it was his Rook.
It was his
Rook.
It
was his Rook. Like it was rightfully God-given his. The Rook armor was his to put down. So needless to say, basically that's what it boiled down to. And basically he ended up having to settle for the inferior but still equally as toxic Doc pick. So the round goes on as normal. Obviously he's spawn peeking. Why would he not be? I decide to join him. And in the endeavor, I end up netting myself 3 kills and getting him shot by Callie, who, by the way, is the only person in the entirety of Siege with a bolt-action sniper rifle.
Yeah.
And so he is obviously very not happy that I picked his rook and also simultaneously managed to get him killed. He is not happy about that. I also managed to pick up a 4K that round, which was pretty good. I mean, so things for the rest of the canal go smoothly. We win the game. Everything's going great. We queue up for another match, thinking nothing of it, and then the fateful game of Yacht decides to come.
Yeah.
And we realize that we are again in the same game
3.
with the same 3 stack. And Matt, would you like to chronicle the events on?
So essentially, we start the game, and immediately, my man's over here was TK'd, team killed. So I try to team kill him, get myself murked in the process. And what would happen next is the most degenerate screaming of autistic screeching ever, because one of Get Good Scrubs' boys didn't say much except for I think his name was Big Head or something like that.
Yes, it was. And it was Big Head and then like a bunch of numbers.
Yeah, okay. So for context, a little extra context. There's 3 individuals. Okay, there's Get Good, Big Head, and Gangsley.
Gangsley. Yeah. We couldn't figure out how to pronounce.
Yeah, he'll be referred to as Gangsley. So essentially, Gangsley and Big Head were the sidekicks to Get Good's 90s movie Bully. Because it's essentially what Get Good was. He was the bully in a 90s high school movie. And it was... So anyway, so we're screeching at him autistically. Specifically, you are. Hellen, Keller with 6 senses. And
well, yes.
Do you mind?
You have to open this, the 7th sense at that point and just let it rip. It was very, very interesting, Matt, because he was hearing the audio simultaneously through Discord and the in-game audio.
Yeah, so it was echoing the entire time. Do you mind recreating the sounds, the absolutely hellish sounds you made?
Oh god, I don't actually know if I could do them right now, but I will attempt. So basically what the sound that Matt heard was me intensely mocking him, that being Get Good Scrub, in a very, shall we say, interesting voice. So it sounded a little something like, you should basically like that. But imagine that with and then so Get Good Scrub was the kind of provoker that loved to ask questions. So every time he would ask a question, the response would be, well, my mama says I'm special, boy. And if you can imagine how that sounds with the reverb just jacked through the roof, it was a sight to behold. It was quite awesome. There was MW2 amounts of shit talk,
and
during the round.
He wasn't very good at insulting. Like, I'd say something, and his automatic response would be...
His only response would be calling Matt either what? He called you gay.
He called me gay
once.
He called me a faggot a couple times, and then he would also retort who told you you could speak? That's it. And I eventually...
that was the funniest one. Who told you you could speak? The one thing that I think his micro penis hamster brain could not decipher was when he ended up calling Matt a fag. All he had to say was, "It takes one to know one." I mean, you could basically, if we were watching his webcam right then and there. There were probably like smoke coming out of his ears from his brain trying to process how horridly that insult came out. The best thing that happened, the ultimatum, was everyone had reverse friendly fire on, except for me in the last round. So, it's been a quite toxic experience already. So, why not add a little bit more salt onto the cake, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a horrid analogy. But basically, right off spawn, I decide to Ash charge. He dies, gets so mad he just doesn't even speak for the rest of the round. Gangsley tries to TK me, forgets that he has reverse friendly fire, ends up downing himself. And then Forehead decides to come over to revive Gangsley. Well, there is some intense dipping going on if you get the drift. I end up getting both of them killed. So it is just me and Matt left to play out the round, and in a 2v5 we obviously lose.
We lost.
That's fine. It didn't matter at that point. All that mattered was like being a nuisance.
God damn it, we do that.
The post-round lobby was probably the most degenerate thing I have ever heard. I couldn't even understand a word of it. It was so bad because it was all 5 of us speaking at once, and it was just, oh god,
just yelling insults at each other.
Basically, with the Discord reverb, it was. Whew,
I thought I was having a stroke. Like the entire time, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? This is hell.
It was not hell. In fact, it was quite fun. I thoroughly enjoyed my time in that game, and I found myself playing some unranked today, and just thinking back to that and going, man, how fun was just not even like having to care about playing the game normally and just playing it to screw people.
Exactly.
Like that is, I mean, fair enough. It is a little bit on the edge, but I do quite enjoy it.
At the end of the day, it's a video game.
It is, and if you get that heated over video game, then I'm sorry, but you need to seek counsel. Like if you're doing it, if you're doing it in irony, like just completely to spite someone else, then it is another thing. But if you are so mad because someone took your operator, your favorite character in a video game, I'm sorry, but I don't know. You need to find something else to do, man.
You need a hobby, man. And this is
you do need a hobby. And yeah, this is definitely. You know what could be your hobby, though? Listening to the Redacted podcast.
Listening to the Redacted podcast on YouTube, please. Please do so.
YouTube channel is the Redacted podcast. It's pretty simple. If you're liking what you hear so far with controlled autism that is going on, feel free to like and sub if you are so inclined. If not, I mean, that's you do you, man.
You still listen to it, so
yeah, you did still listen to it. You gave us that 10 minutes out of 4,000 watch hours we need for monetization.
Yeah,
which is never gonna happen.
No.
Anyway,
this is never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. Nah. I mean, unless we get on someone like Obama. What do you think the chances are that we could get over this Discord call?
Say that again?
What do you think the chances are that we could get Obama into this Discord?
Man, I hope we do. You know, I want to just Mr. Obama, please.
He just finished writing his memoir.
he's
got nothing to do.
The memoir.
Exactly. Obama on the podcast promoting his new book.
Do you think he'd have a chapter on why he drone striked a bunch of children?
Probably not. That would be I don't know.
Speaking of
That would be a
politics,
little
question
bit.
for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I just thought of this, right? Second Amendment, okay, says that it is your right in the event of governmental tyranny to raise a well-regulated militia, right? But it does not give a definition of what a well-regulated militia is, meaning you could, in theory, have an army and a well-regulated militia of literally anything, right? So, what is your ultimate well-regulated militia made of?
What is my ultimate well-regulated militia made of? Okay, yes. Well, I would have to say it would be the 5 kids from the PALS program at our school, all having their own.
Wow. Okay.
Probably like 7 kids in A10 Warthogs. A couple ICBMs, maybe a nuclear submarine for no other reason to lay it in my lawn. Like, I don't even want, like, not that it would even be in any water. I just want to have it sitting on my front lawn. It's just like it's just like
with his truck.
Exactly, because that thing can launch remote detonation ICBMs. Gonna poke it. I'll launch a nuke at you, Mr. Government. I mean, oh boy, what else? Plenty of firearms.
Oh yeah.
You just have to. None of the BS foreign stuff though.
Oh, yeah,
only American made, right?
Yeah,
no imports.
We are
no
Eugene
imports.
Stoner enthusiasts here.
Oh yes, very very much so. So
if it ain't an armor light rifle, I don't want it. Damn you.
Fair enough. I would agree. No one likes charging handles on the side of their rifles anyway. So
exactly.
I mean, if you do, leave.
Yeah, please.
But also, okay, that's false because the M1 has the charging handle on the side, but that's different. Also, I came across a revelation today. So, speaking of rifles, you remember how whenever people talk about World War II, they go, "Oh, the M1 Garand is such a stupid design because it makes that iconic ping sound whenever the internal clip is ejected after you fired 8 rounds."
Yeah, but it's 8
and
rounds
this one man
6.
That was precisely my point. Is if your 8 rounds are even near the guy you're shooting at, he can't hear that. He can't hear the clip even being ejected because he's deaf from the 8 rounds of 30-06 you just fired at him.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, besides the fact that it weighs like 15 pounds and is semi-automatic, I mean that can be changed.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
well, the M1 carbine
it's a solid rifle.
The M1 carbine was fully automatic.
Yep, fully automatic. I think 7.62 by 54, right?
So 308.
If I remember correctly, the standard NATO round for it's 308.
Well, NATO wasn't a thing by then. It was. I think the M1 carbine was still 30.
M1 carbine was Vietnam, wasn't it?
No, that's the M14.
Oh, the M14. That's what I'm thinking of.
I think the M14.
My bad.
Was. No, I think the M14 was 308. I think you're right. Let me look it up. M14 chamber. M14 762. Yep, so 308.
Yep, 308.
Because yeah.
For all of you foreigners out there, that's what 762 by 54.
762 by 54, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also, fun fact, what the Halo assault rifle is chambered in, according to the lore.
Really?
Yes.
No wonder it rips through space. So going on, running on that tangent.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're telling me is that if I bring an M14 to space, I'd be able to rip through alien life forms.
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's assuming you're fighting the Covenant, right? Because depending on what the
well, I
alien
mean,
life form is, you could technically rip through
it
anywhere.
doesn't get more advanced than the Covenant though. Like they have energy shields and
Well, yeah.
purebred
How
alien.
how do we know all alien life forms are going to be as advanced as the Covenant, man?
They're not going to be like them.
Exactly.
But assuming like think of how advanced the Covenant are, right?
Yeah.
Like
got
faster than light travel, armor and stuff. Like if you could kill them with plain old some good old 308, right? You can kill like whatever alien blob we find on planet number 80527, that orbits like some dumb sun 400 light years away.
Yeah, man.
Right? What do you bring?
You bring 308.
You bring some 308. It's like that one meme, like where the space crew lands back on lands back on Earth, just grabs an M9 and they're like, "What do you need that for?"
Moon's haunted.
Moon's haunted. Moon's haunted. What? Moon's haunted. Yeah. Just walks back into the space shuttle.
Just Moon's haunted, man.
I mean, in all reality, that meme could be an actual thing that happens with Elon Musk's self-landing rockets or self-landing boosters. Excuse me. That could be a genuine.
Yeah, just imagine like one day astronauts are gonna be like, "Hey, man, we got a problem. How do we think we should solve it?" Other guys gonna be like, "I have an idea."
Oh my god, that is fair enough. If you looked at it historically, what problem has superior weaponry not solved? Besides the Cold War, we'll just take that whole chunk of history.
I'd argue to say that
and
Cold War
throw it to the side.
Superior weaponry.
Okay. Oh, fair enough.
Because like both sides, the only reason it was a Cold War is because both sides had nukes.
Because no one wanted to get fucking nuclear annihilation.
Yeah. Otherwise, they would have been like, "All right, it's time to go."
On that, I still find it absolutely hilarious that in the event of nuclear annihilation, they make you hide under your desk. Like, yes, this 2-inch piece of wood to protect me from thermonuclear radiation.
You're telling me I didn't need to build this bunker?
Shoot. Also, on that note, if the Cold War would have happened, let's say Cold War became the spicy war, the hot war. Someone decided to launch a nuke. I think what everyone fails to realize is that there would be a specific area in which all of the supermarket pizzas would be perfectly cooked, because of a thermonuclear detonation. And if we're looking at that, that is the real win-win here. Like, like a couple million people might die. You might have radiation poisoning, but instant cooked supermarket pizzas.
It's not nuclear.
Plus, it's a nuclear apocalypse. No one's gonna stop you from like running into your local Albertsons and just like ganking like 80 pizzas that are perfectly cooked because a nuclear bomb went off in like New York.
It's not nuclear annihilation. It's DiGiorno.
I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? It's just that's what they decided to plaster on like the side of like Fat Man is just DiGiorno.
It's just DiGiorno.
It's not delivery. Well, it actually is. Here's some DiGiorno too. Just boom. Anyway, off the topic of nuclear annihilation. Actually, back on the topic of nuclear annihilation, the arcs or the rings in Halo,
And it comes full
the
circle.
rings in Halo are basically like massive space nukes. I mean, that's literally what they are.
Yeah.
So now listen to me. Are you ready?
I'm listening.
So that means if the Halo rings detonated, there would be a certain planet where all of the life forms on it would be perfectly cooked.
That's a delicious way of thinking about it.
Like, tell me I'm wrong. Like, you might lose like a quarter of the known galaxy, like potato, but on planet number 432-875R, all the little globs of insect are like cooked to perfection.
Well, they wouldn't be cooked because in the Halo lore, they'd be absolutely eradicated from existence.
Well, see, that's only in the ring sphere of detonation, though.
No.
Halo lore doesn't cover what goes on.
Well, that's why there's like more than one ring. It's
exactly, but let's say you only detonate one ring, right? You're not telling me that a planet like I don't know, a couple thousand feet outside of like the detonation area of a ring isn't going to be like a little bit crispy.
No.
Exactly. So you see what I'm saying, right? Crispy aliens, bro. I'm telling you. You. Crispy pizzas, crispy aliens. What more could you want?
That sounds delicious. Got my fat ass hungry.
Hungry for some alien cheeks, bro?
Yeah.
See. Okay, here's the thing. Now, speaking of alien cheeks, let's say you were to consume an alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that alien is like a human, what part would you eat first?
Thigh, dark meat.
Why was that so fast?
I like dark meat and chickens, bro.
Okay, so you're telling me you're straight for the thighs, like perfectly cooked alien, just thigh time.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I respect it. Also, if you like white meat off the turkey, you're a psychopath, and I'm not taking it back. Screw you. If you actually enjoy eating white turkey meat, there's something wrong with you. Like get out. There's the door. Like, go. Like, you're wrong. Just leave.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because it's there's no taste, first of all, and second of all, it's just dry. Like, there's nothing you can do to make white turkey meat taste good. I mean, really, besides combining it with with enough seasoning. But I think, like, just on its own, like, if you just cook a turkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you're fine. All right. Okay. So back to reality. But in fact, we do still have gravity because we're sitting on Earth. You're welcome. Thank you. I think that's gonna about wrap it up for this very large autistic stint tonight.
I would concur. Very autistic indeed.
So, any final words from you, Matt?
Yes, I'd just like to thank our guest, Hellen Keller, with the 7 senses. Like and subscribe.
Always a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, like and subscribe for more. Eventually, we'll come out with more. We'll see.
Yeah, we.
And always remember to support your local businesses.
Fair enough.